We're told that family is everything. That blood is stronger than any bond. That no matter what, we should stick with our relatives. But not everyone feels safe under that idea. Not everyone finds peace in the places they were born into. And for a Sigma male, that truth runs even deeper. He's not cold. He's not ungrateful. He's not holding secret grudges. But he keeps a distance. Not always physical, but emotional, mental, and energetic space. And people often misunderstand it. They think he's bitter, too proud, or disconnected. What they don't understand is that for the Sigma male, distance is not rejection. It's protection. The Sigma male is someone who values freedom over comfort, truth over tradition, and peace over obligation. He doesn't move according to what's expected. He moves according to what keeps him strong, clear, and focused. That includes how he handles family. There are many reasons why a Sigma male keeps his distance from family. Some of them are based on past pain. Others come from the need to grow. Some are about control. Others are simply about clarity. But all of them come from the same place, his deep respect for his own space and sanity. This video is not about tearing down family. It's not about blame. It's about understanding. Because when a man chooses space, there's a reason. And if you want to understand a Sigma male, you need to understand why closeness isn't always what he seeks, even with the people who raised him. Let's look at 6 honest, personal, and sometimes painful reasons a Sigma male keeps his distance from family. Reason number 1, he protects his emotional peace. The Sigma male sees peace as a priority. It's not just something he hopes for, it's something he protects. And when it comes to family, that peace can be harder to maintain than most people admit. Family dynamics often come with tension, old arguments, unspoken pressure, emotional weight that builds over years and never gets addressed. Everyone smiles at the dinner table, but under the surface, there's discomfort. The Sigma male doesn't pretend he doesn't feel it, he just chooses not to live in it. He knows how draining it can be to stay in environments where he has to perform, where he's expected to act a certain way, agree with certain ideas, or stay silent when something doesn't sit right. He's not rude. He's not explosive. He just removes himself when the energy isn't healthy. That decision is rarely taken well. Family members might think he's distant or uncaring. But for him, this isn't about being cold, it's about survival. Emotional survival. Because every time he forces himself to stay in places where his peace is threatened, he loses a piece of himself. He also understands how emotions move through environments. If someone in the family is constantly negative, always complaining, or bringing drama into every room, that energy spreads. And the Sigma doesn't want to absorb it. So instead of reacting, arguing, or trying to fix it, he creates space. That space is where he thinks clearly, where he breathes, where he processes without being pulled into emotional loops. It doesn't mean he doesn't care. It means he cares enough about himself to not let the chaos of others become his normal. He's not looking for perfect relationships. He's looking for balance. And if that balance doesn't exist in his family space, he'll build it outside. Not to prove a point, but to protect the one thing he needs to stay strong, his inner calm. Reason number 2, he resists social scripts and roles. From a young age, most families start assigning roles. The responsible one, the rebel, the caregiver, the one who always listens, the one who never speaks up. Sometimes those roles are spoken out loud. Other times they're just understood. But the message is clear. This is who you're supposed to be. The Sigma male doesn't play by that rule book. He sees those roles for what they are, social scripts. They may work for some people. They may even bring a sense of belonging. But for him, they feel limiting. Because every role comes with expectation. And expectation often means sacrifice. Sacrifice your voice, your freedom, your goals, your truth. Whether it's being expected to take care of everyone, always agree with the family elders, or continue traditions that don't resonate, he doesn't go along just to keep the peace. And when he stops fitting into that old image, things start to shift. Family doesn't always handle that well. They may push back, ask questions, guilt him. Why don't you show up more? Why don't you ever ask for advice? You've changed. But from his view, it's not change. It's growth. And sometimes, growth looks like stepping out of the role everyone wanted you to play. The Sigma doesn't rebel loudly. He detaches quietly. He no longer tries to explain why he's different. He just lives differently. That choice often creates space between him and his family, not because he wants separation, but because he can't return to the version of himself they remember. He wants to be seen for who he is now, not for who he was when he was younger, not for the title someone gave him, not for the label the family created. If he can't be that version of himself around family, then he creates that space elsewhere. Distance, in this case, becomes the price of authenticity. And for the Sigma male, it's a price worth paying. Reason number 3, emotional trauma or past hurt. Not all families are safe. Not all childhoods are warm. Some people grow up in homes filled with stress, silence, or emotional wounds that never get spoken about. The Sigma male doesn't bury that reality. He faces it, and then decides how much of it he's willing to carry into adulthood. If there's been emotional trauma, being ignored, manipulated, controlled, or made to feel small, he remembers. And instead of pretending it didn't happen, or keeping quiet to avoid upsetting people, he chooses distance. Not to punish, but to protect. Family may expect him to forget, to move on, to show up like nothing happened. But he can't pretend his past doesn't affect his present. And if that past includes pain, he knows being around it too often can reopen wounds that took years to close. Some people heal by staying close and talking things out. But the Sigma often heals by creating space. He processes in solitude. He reflects in silence. He doesn't need a group to validate his pain. He needs time, clarity, and space from the very people who caused it, even if they didn't mean to. This doesn't mean he's bitter. It means he's honest. He can love people and still not want to be near them. He can forgive without reconnecting. And he can respect his own growth without needing to involve everyone from his past. When the pain runs deep, closeness isn't comforting, it's exhausting. And the Sigma male doesn't pretend for appearances. If the energy around him feels heavy, guilt-based, or emotionally unsafe, he leaves. Quietly. Without drama. Without trying to be understood. That choice often gets misread. People say he's cold, distant, or heartless. But in reality, he's just done carrying pain that doesn't belong to him anymore. And the most brutal part is, he doesn't try to explain it. He just protects himself. Reason number 4, he values merit over blood. To the Sigma male, loyalty isn't automatic. It's earned. Just because someone is family doesn't mean they're good for him. Just because someone shares the same name doesn't mean they share the same values. And that's why he puts character above connection. This can be a hard idea for others to accept. Society often teaches that family comes first, no matter what. That no matter how someone treats you, you should stand by them because they're your own. But the Sigma doesn't see it that way. He believes loyalty should go where it's respected. If a relative constantly disrespects him, gossips, uses him, or drains his energy, he doesn't excuse it just because they're related. He holds them to the same standard he holds anyone else. And if they fail that standard, he steps back. He doesn't hate these people. He just refuses to be close to them. That decision might seem cold, but it's actually rooted in integrity. He's not going to stay connected to someone out of guilt. He's not going to fake a bond with someone who has no interest in mutual respect. And he won't prioritize someone who continues to violate his boundaries. In the Sigma's world, merit matters more than history. He asks, do you bring value to my life? Do we respect each other? Can we grow together? If the answer is no, then even blood ties won't hold him in place. He also applies this mindset to himself. He doesn't expect loyalty just because he's family. He believes it has to be mutual, earned, consistent. That's what makes his connections real, and that's why he doesn't chase the ones that aren't. For him, distance isn't disrespect. It's a reflection of what he sees. And if someone wants to close that distance, they have to show change, not just demand closeness. Reason number 5, he seeks growth outside familiar patterns. Sometimes family holds you back without even trying. Not because they want to harm you, but because they've gotten used to a version of you that no longer fits who you've become. And for the Sigma male, that old version is something he refuses to return to. Growth is everything to him. Mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, he wants all of it. But growth requires space. And often, the place you came from is the same place you have to leave if you want to grow into someone new. This doesn't mean he sees his family as enemies. It means he recognizes that the environment you're raised in can sometimes keep you stuck. In mindset, in patterns, in fear. And to break free, he needs distance, not disrespect, but distance. He may come from a family where risk is feared, where dreams are dismissed, where people talk more about what can't be done than what's possible. He doesn't argue with them. He just creates space. He protects the mindset he's building by staying away from the one he's leaving behind. The Sigma knows that growth requires change, and change is uncomfortable. If he stays too close to what's familiar, he might start shrinking to fit. He might start doubting what he's building. So instead he chooses distance to protect his evolution. This also allows him to build his own identity, one not shaped by family expectations or generational beliefs or inherited limits. He starts choosing what he believes, what he values, who he becomes. And that process often needs to happen away from familiar eyes. The people who love him might not understand. They might feel rejected. But the truth is, he's not pushing anyone away. He's pulling himself forward. And if they can't support that, he won't force them to come along. The Sigma male isn't trying to become better than anyone. He's just trying to become more of himself. And sometimes, to do that fully, he has to step away from where he started. Reason number 6, he maintains identity without overlap. Every family has a shared story, a shared way of doing things, a shared image of who belongs and how they should act. And for many people that brings comfort. It creates a sense of identity. But for the Sigma male, that overlap can feel like pressure. He needs to define himself on his own terms. He doesn't want to be known as just someone's son, brother, or relative. He wants to be seen as his own man, with his own thoughts, his own rules, and his own values. And that can't happen if he's always being seen through the lens of family history. When he feels his individuality is being smothered or misunderstood, he takes a step back. not out of anger, but out of clarity. He knows who he is becoming, and he doesn't want that version to be shaped by expectations he never agreed to. It's not about shame. He's not hiding from where he comes from. He simply knows that too much closeness can blur his edges. And when his personal life, goals and beliefs start blending too much with family dynamics, he feels the need to reset the boundary. The Sigma male values clean space. Not just physically, but mentally. He needs time alone to think without influence. To make decisions that aren't second-guessed or questioned by people who don't see the full picture. He needs distance so he can hear his own voice louder than anyone else's. Even in families that are loving and supportive, this need for separation still shows up. It's not about conflict. It's about identity. The Sigma is building something private, something personal. And until it's strong enough to stand without interference, he protects it by creating space. That space lets him sharpen his views, trust his instincts, and move freely. It gives him room to fail, adjust, and grow without feeling watched or judged. And that space is something he guards, even if others don't understand it. He doesn't hate his roots. He just wants to grow in his own direction. And sometimes that means keeping enough distance to not be shaped by people who still see him as who he used to be. The Sigma male doesn't distance himself from family out of bitterness. He does it out of awareness. He knows his energy is limited. His time is valuable. And his growth depends on what he surrounds himself with. He protects his emotional peace. He resists being forced into roles. He steps away from unresolved pain. He values relationships based on truth, not just blood. He grows outside the patterns he was born into. And he maintains a strong sense of identity by keeping his personal life separate. This distance may confuse others. It may hurt people who expected constant closeness. But it's never about hate. It's about survival. It's about boundaries. It's about becoming a man on his own terms. For some, family means daily contact. For the Sigma, family can mean love from a distance, respect from space, loyalty without control. If you're someone who's chosen that path, or if you know someone who has, understand this: distance doesn't mean disconnection. Sometimes it's the only way a man can protect who he's becoming. Drop a comment if any of these reasons spoke to you. Share this with someone who needs clarity about why certain men walk away, not out of hate, but out of necessity. And if you're building something private, something quiet, something yours, remember, not everyone will understand. And that's okay. They don't have to.